So come with me to the garden. Let's go dig up some treasures, edible treasures. Oh my gosh! I just got scared by a bumblebee. Everything's fine. Have I mentioned I'm terrified of flying insects? Hey garden friends, and welcome back to the channel. It is July, it is hot, it is time to harvest some vegetables here in southern Missouri. We have carrots, cabbage, potatoes, garlic. All of those things are on the cusp of needing to be harvested this week. I'm going to start out today with harvesting some carrots. I know some of them are already getting ready to go to flower, they're bolting, so I want to make sure I grab them out of the ground before I lose them to this summer heat. So I have a bed back here, 6x6. It's got a few rows of carrots, a couple different varieties, the red cord chantenay and the calliope blend. The calliope blend is kind of a multicolored purple, oranges, deep purples, that kind of type of carrot. And then the red cord chantenay is your very standard orange looking carrot. We're going to go ahead and pull those out, see what we have for a harvest, and hopefully it'll be good. I pulled a few over the last week just to take a look, and they're all sizing up really nice. So let's get to it. Planted in this bed this year. I've done carrots in the past in other spaces. This bed in particular has quite a bit of small rocks, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of these carrots end up a little deformed. And then I also neglected, when I was germinating the carrot seeds, I didn't really cover them, so my rows are a little sparse in some areas, but that's okay. They still filled in pretty nicely. I'm not complaining. All right, not bad. It's a moderately sized, it's not huge, but it's good size. They're all approximately that big. I will be happy. It's also helpful that we just got some rain yesterday and the day before, so the ground's still relatively soft instead of trying to pull these out of dry soil. Oh, baby carrots. I will be saving these baby carrots to feed to the puppy. She loves carrots. Juniper, you want a carrot? Here's a radish that got left behind, bolted. Composting that. Planting carrots and other root vegetables like radishes. Ooh, that's a nice one. Look at that. Other root vegetables, radishes, turnips, they are really good at kind of aerating the soil because they are growing just one massive taproot. It's nice to kind of plant them in different spaces to help, like I said, help kind of break up soil, especially if you've got some really dense soil. This particular bed's actually probably got my best soil life just because it's the oldest bed in the garden. So it didn't need a whole lot of aerating, and I didn't really get a chance to come in here and thin these out super well. Ooh. Look at that one. Ran itself into probably a rock or something. This bed's gonna look a lot cleaner when all these carrots are gone. Won't know what to do with it. Yeah, these could have been better thinned out. The more you kind of go through and thin your carrots out, you're more likely to have bigger carrots, just because they can grow bigger diameters. But some of these are, not a bad size in terms of width. They're a little bit shorter, stubbier, but it's all right. They all cook up the same. Oh yeah, there we go. Cluster of carrots. These are those red cord chantenays. Seem to do really well. Some of the other blends of carrots that you'll see, like the fun ones, the ones that come in different colors, they're fun to grow, but sometimes they just don't grow to be like a consistent size. Whereas these chantenays, I feel like, do pretty well. No, you cannot take out of my basket. Leave it. Leave it. Nope. Someone's getting greedy here. She keeps trying to take out of my basket of carrots. No, you can't have those. Those are mommy's carrots. Here, go baby carrot. You want it? Go get it. See, look at this. Nice size. Again, probably about 3 to 4 inches in length, but a good almost inch in diameter. So I'll probably do another planting of carrots come August. These take about, I think, around 75 days or so to maturity. With a fall planting, now I do have to keep in mind that the days are getting shorter. Just have to plan for that. Sometimes they do weird things like this, and they grow legs like they're running. These are still edible. They just make it a little bit more difficult to skin or peel or cut up, but we'll use them. And I do have some carrots that are starting to flower here. I'll let these go to bolt. That way I can save some seeds. That would be kind of neat. Never done that before. So I heard the flowers on carrots are really great for pollinators too. Here's an example of one of the calliope carrots. You can see it's a different color. It's kind of a reddish tinge to it. Hey! Oh my gosh, you little carrot thief. Juniper got a prize carrot out of the box. I think while I'm in here today, I'll probably also harvest my beets. They're in this bed as well. Look at these tiny, tiny carrots. Look how small these are. Itty bitty. Could leave some of these small ones in here, but I do run the risk of them bolting like this very quickly and not sizing up properly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all of them out. Look at that one. Unique. This is what I mean. Sometimes these calliope blends just kind of grow stunted or weird. Not that the other one doesn't, but the more fun the blend looks, the more likely it'll grow to be kind of wonky. There's another. So this is a nice, pretty nice calliope. It's white. They do come in that kind of off-white color. Oh, that's a whole lot of nothing. This is what I mean. They sometimes look like they're getting ready to flower. You can see it's got this flower here at the base, but it's so hot, it just hasn't had a chance to form. So that's no good. Oh yeah, oh wow. This is the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that guy. That's a nice, nice big carrot. Yeah, oh. Look at that. It's another nice sized carrot. Yeah. And these I think are the calliope. So if you can get them to grow without going all weird and knobby, they're pretty decent sized carrots. Carrots are one of those rewarding vegetables, but also very frustrating. Sometimes they just don't cooperate and they grow all weird. And then makes you wonder, you could go to the store and buy a pack of carrots for $2, but when you get them to grow, they're pretty fun. Something really nice about yanking a carrot out of the ground, one that you grew from seed. Nonetheless, carrots are not easy to grow. Germination itself takes forever. If you continue to struggle with growing carrots, my words of advice is just don't give up. That could be the variety you're growing, could be the soil, time of the year you're planting them, but keep at it. You'll get there. My first year of trying carrots, I guess 2 years, didn't go anywhere, but last year I started actually having some successful carrots, and then this year, pretty happy with what I'm pulling out here. Granted, some of them are puny. Those are ones we throw in the compost. And anyways, you buy a packet of carrots, it's a couple bucks. You get a lot of seeds for that packet, so it's worth trying, right? Like I said, even if they don't fully grow, you're still getting some benefits. They're aerating your soil. And yeah, we're doing pretty good here. I think I'm just about done. radishes that didn't make it. Tried to do a second planting of my radishes this spring and I timed them bad. If it gets too hot, radishes will fizzle out. They'll either bolt or they just won't develop correctly. So I'm seeing a lot of those in here right now. I think everything else is pretty well picked. Let me take a look at some of these beets. First year growing beets. So imagine I've got a mishmash of beets. These look really small. I don't remember how big they're supposed to get, but you know, you gotta start somewhere. Not very pretty, but these are my attempt at the golden beets. I'm not gonna let them go to waste. This is what I mean when I say this bed is not optimal in shape or size. Makes it very difficult to get in here and makes it difficult to weed, makes it difficult to harvest. So I have been just trying to plant on the outskirts. It's another reason why I did carrots is they take a while to grow. And I knew I'd only come in and harvest them once. So, okay, here we go. This is the bed after it's been harvested out with the carrots and the beets. A little bit more sparse. You can actually kind of tell what's going on now. Let's take a look at our haul that we got for the carrots. Here's the stash. Handful of beets. Not super big, but you know, like I said, got to start somewhere. Carrots are looking pretty good. Most of these are pretty uniform in size, so that'll make processing them pretty easy. I have a few weird ones in here. I have multiple limbs, so to speak. Got a couple really large ones as well. Overall, I'm really happy with this. Like I said, this is kind of my second year growing carrots, so yeah, I feel like this was a success. Hey guys, a new day here. It's actually, at the time of recording this, it is July 4th. So happy Independence Day to all of my American viewers. I am going to go ahead and dig out my potatoes this morning. We've got the gardens kind of shaded out right now by the sun. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And so this gets really hit around noon till about 8 o'clock or so. But anyways, I got these potatoes. They're ready to come out of the ground. Never harvested potatoes before. I'm thinking I'm going to go grab our wheelbarrow because there's a lot of straw mulch that I'm going to move and maybe a bucket. I'm not really sure, or basket. Hopefully we've got some taters here. And this is what we're looking at. This is beans, so this is not potatoes. Any remnants of the potatoes we have left are this, but basically these kind of stalks. Everything else is completely died back, so I think we're safe to go ahead and pull them and see what we've got. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and forego the wheelbarrow. I think instead I'm just going to move my straw mulch either to my flower bed behind me or to the peppers here that I haven't mulched yet. This particular variety is the Yukon Gem variety. They were planted back in mid to late March. And like I said, today is July 4th, so we're looking at first week of July. And from the looks of it, they should be ready to go. So let's see what we can find. So at this point, my microphone decided to cut out while I was recording. So I'll just do a little voiceover here. At this point, I'm just removing the straw mulch and the topsoil that I had placed over my potatoes. Turns out I don't think I needed to do the hilling for this potato variety. So this particular variety was a Yukon Gem. And after doing a little bit of research, I think it's considered a determinate potato, which I think I could have just planted it and let it go. But, you know, just to be on the safe side, I did end up hilling it up. The differences, from what I understand with a determinate versus an indeterminate potato, similar to tomatoes, is that if you hill up the indeterminates, they will continue to put on more tubers along the main vine there, whereas a determinate makes all of the potatoes at the base of the plant. So yeah, so I kind of did I think a bunch of extra work that I didn't need. And then at this point I realized my tiny trowel was not gonna cut it. I also ended up sacrificing my green beans. They were just in the way while I was trying to remove all of this topsoil and mulch to get down to the potatoes below. And you can see here I'm fiddling with the irrigation line as well. So just trying to unearth my potatoes, which it took some time, and eventually I did start pulling some out. You can see Juniper is very interested in what I'm doing there, as always. And then eventually you can see I definitely was able to remove all of the mulch on top. Here I'm just digging down, trying to find as many tubers as I can. The size of the tubers I was pulling out weren't super great. They were pretty small. I think I could have let my potatoes die back a little bit further, and that probably would have resulted in some bigger potatoes. But I am open to trying this variety again next year. I definitely won't be planting them in a raised garden bed. I have some grow bags that I purchased this year that I didn't have until just recently, but they're 15-gallon, and I'd like to try growing potatoes in those next year. So let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite potato variety, and do you prefer growing them in a raised garden bed, in ground, or in containers like a grow bag? I feel like the grow bag would be super easy to just dump out at the end of the season and harvest instead of having to dig out all of the soil. It was a chore, I'll tell you what. It definitely was a workout. Well, here is the final harvest of all of the potatoes. They are, you know, hand-sized, small. Some of them are the world's tiniest potatoes, but you know what? Overall, I'm pretty happy. Again, this is my first year planting, first year harvesting. I did do a little bit of research, and a couple things that could be the culprit to why these were so small is the amount of rain and the fact that I may have harvested them a little early. I think I should have waited maybe another week or two post all of the foliage dying. So lessons learned, but I do think the rain had a big part to play for the tuber size. But overall, you know, I, again, am pretty happy with this. Well, guys, I believe it is garlic time. So I'm gonna say it's go for garlic time. At least I hope it is. At the very least, I got to get this out of the ground. We're about to have the next 5 days of on and off storms again. So I think this is going to be as good a time as any. And then once I clear up both these beds, I am going to try to get some other things planted. So I've got some corn I'm going to plant in here and some more okra on this side. And we'll go from there. All right, let's get to it. Got a basket to put stuff in. I've got a trowel here. I'm gonna dig around the base, pull it up. We'll see how things turn out. Okay. Hey, it's not too bad. It's a little muddy-ish, but it's a decent size. I am very pleased with that. I'll have to look up and see what variety this is, because I don't remember. It is a soft neck. I know that much. I think I ordered it from Baker Creek this past year. This one, oh wow. Oh my gosh. This is, oh, look at that. It's got a clove and then a clove here. I don't know what happened with this one. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. Again, this is my first year planting garlic. So very much an experiment, similar to my potato and onions. Oh yeah, this one, I broke into one of the cloves here. Hopefully I can salvage that. It's a big clove too. Gosh, I'm not expecting him to be this big. This is great. I'm wearing my mosquito suit here. Not a full suit, but my poncho. In the hopes to deter the mosquitoes. Soil's very difficult to dig up right now because it's a little wet. No, it's kind of small. That's okay. I'm going to be happy with anything that comes out this year because it is all new to me. Goodness gracious, I might have to get the big shovel, girl. Might help make things go faster. There we go. They're just really stuck in there. Got just a little bit of rain earlier today, and our soil is very heavy in clay, and these beds have been, hey, oh, garlic thief. What do you got? What is that? Are you a garlic thief? Is that mommy's garlic? Okay. She's so used to just pulling things out of my basket. You would not even like this, I promise. I know. You would eat just about anything. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, our soil is very clay and dense here. I think it's like that for so many people, but the beds, when we filled these up, we did order topsoil. We amended it with some peat moss and a little bit of compost, but it's still, I think with all of the rain, it's just gotten really compacted. So it's kind of a challenge here digging up the garlic. Yeah, look at that. This is what I mean. It's like clay almost. And this bed is only 2 years old, so I haven't done a ton of amending with it. And over the, no, Banjo, you wouldn't like it. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, you would not like it. Over the next year, I'm hoping to amend this bed to be a little bit nicer. Okay, that's decent. I like that one. Oh my gosh, I think I just bent my my shovel back. I can't believe this. I may have to get the big shovel. Okay. I was not expecting this to be such a workout. This is almost as intense as the potatoes. There we go. And I was expecting, based on other gardeners in the area, I was thinking this would be dug out in June. But I think, look at that. That's beautiful. But I think because of the season we've had with rain and the cooler temperatures in spring, I think everything's behind schedule. So this is the first week in July. So I was expecting to have this space planted out with okra already, but it's okay. We still have plenty of time to grow stuff. And okra is going to really shoot up because of the heat. Yeah, you can eat that one. That one's grass. You can eat the grass. There we go. Another pretty good size bunch. Good size head. I'd like to think if the soil was drier, it might be easier. Or not. I have no idea. We have one of those, maybe it's called the tiller, I don't know, but you put it down the ground and you can do this and it kind of breaks up the topsoil a little bit. Probably would be worth doing that before planting in. There we go. Oh, it's a baby. It's got another weird thing in the middle. I'll have to look up what that is. What that means. Are you helping him in the garden? No, ma'am. That's not the help I need. Okay, Boop. Go on. Keep it going. Nope, nope. Oh my gosh, you're gonna dig. You heard me talk about needing to till up that soil, huh? You're on it. I'm good. I don't need your help. Appreciate the thought, though. That was very sweet of you. Australian Shepherds, they're working dogs. She's looking for a job. Banjo, you're so much more mature than your sister. Banjo's 3. Juniper's only 7 months old. So she's very much a puppy. Very much a puppy, very much non-stop energy. Banjo was like that at one point, but he's definitely mellowed out in the last year and a half. Hey, there's a good one. So while I am new to growing garlic, I've done a little bit of research, and from what I understand, the soft neck variety stores a little bit longer than the hard neck varieties, which is good. We're gonna have a lot of garlic. So I'm gonna try to cure these in my basement, which is what I've been doing with my onions, and then I will probably, most likely, store them in my basement. I'll probably process some of these for garlic powders, and then others for, say, for fresh eating, fresh cooking. Now, My particular zone, 6B, to me, when I looked this up last year, it was recommended to grow soft neck, but I would be curious to see if I could do hard neck, because the hard neck is supposed to have a little bit more of a pungent garlicky flavor, which I love the flavor of garlic, so it'd be kind of nice to be able to grow both, but I still need to do a little bit more research. If anyone else is growing in zone 6B and you have had success growing hardneck, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know what variety, if you did that. And then generally seed companies are selling their garlic seed, which all garlic seed really is just a clove of garlic that you pop in the ground. And they're usually selling that in the fall because the garlic gets planted usually in October, November, after your first frost date. So that's usually generally a good rule of thumb. I want to make sure I order some more, this fall. A lot of times the seed companies will sell out pretty quickly for particular varieties. So, all right, come on, come on. Yeah. Oh man, it's the biggest one. I think this one feels like the biggest one. No, ma'am, that does not mean you get to have it. No, you silly dog. Oh, getting close to finishing getting them all out of this bed. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. I want to say I planted around 40 to 50 cloves, which should be about 40 to 50 heads. So we'll count them here when I'm done and see just how many I got. I have moved my garlic basket closer to my reach so that somebody might be less tempted to snag a garlic. She's so funny. She highly food motivated, very driven for food, has a ton of toys. Both of them have lots of dog toys, but for whatever reason, she's always been more obsessed with stealing things that don't belong to her, like socks and shoes, garden equipment. She's run around the yard with my trowel before, so it does not surprise me that she's trying to steal from my harvest basket. They're not even that big, they just so stuck by this clay soil. It's like perpetually wet because it's been constantly raining. Look at this. Look at that. That should not be turned up at that angle, but it is now. Let me see if I can bend it back a little bit. There we go. It's better. Okay. There we go. Yeah. I have some really great root systems on it. It did really good. I took a moment to get some water, even though it's significantly cooler out because it is in the evening. It's still ridiculously humid out. It's important to stay hydrated in the garden. Keep your plants hydrated, keep yourself hydrated. Just gotta pull out the rest of this garlic and then we're good. We are done harvesting. All right, let's take a look and see what our total count comes to. Okay, here is the full harvest of the garlic. I counted 59 heads of garlic. That is almost a solid 60, so that's awesome. It's really exciting. You can see most of these are pretty uniform in size. I'd say they're about a little over an inch in diameter. I'll be curious to see how many actual cloves are inside. But we do have some bigger ones, like this one here. This is really nice size. We have a handful of them that are pretty big. We got some that are also pretty small, like this, for example. But again, overall, very happy with this. You could see I actually pulled a handful of them earlier in the week just to see if they were ready. And these have been sitting outside in the shade. You can tell they're already starting to dry out. Significantly less muddy looking than these. We are due for some more rain. It's going to be really humid and rainy the next week. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to clean these up a little bit. I'm not going to wash them. I'm just going to try to knock off as much dirt as possible and then take these into my basement space, similar to my onions, let them cure there for a few weeks. And then once everything's completely dried, I think then I'll be at a good point where I can start storing them. First year of garlic, I'd say this was a success. Very happy with this. So no, tonight was all about harvesting, but garlic. But I did pick a few more tomatillos and a ton of cucumbers. So I got 3 cucumbers right now. Got them in my pouch here. I do have some red acres still left in that bed. I'm a little tired tonight to harvest them. I think they can ride for a few more days. Plus, I don't really have room in the fridge to process them at the moment, so I'm gonna leave them in there. All right, guys, thanks again for joining me in the garden the last several days as we harvested out several different things. Until next time, see you later. Bye.